Hello, hello. Episode 13 of Trending Down coming at you. Got myself Ethersole and Bender in the house. And, wow. I feel like the last time we chatted, the merge was just about to happen.
I think it was the day before, or like maybe a few days before. But we're back. We made it back.
We're back and we're surviving. I think there was a little bit of... People were a little worried about you, man.
Yeah. I think people thought I disappeared off Twitter, but the reality was I was there the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that people care. That's awesome.
You don't want to know the number of people that reached out to see if I was okay, because it's a lot smaller than you think it would have been.
Okay.
Yeah, after like 7 days, I was saying, okay, so maybe less people care than I thought they did. But that's okay. That's fine.
Constantly just refreshing the DMs and be like, all right, so someone's going to reach out eventually, right?
Someday, man.
Yeah.
It's just my mom, my dad, and you.
Oh my God. Perfect. I mean, so yeah, it's been brutal. Like it's been down only since the merge, sell the news type deal. But I would say the whole entire like global financial world is just in turmoil right now.
Oh yeah. And I think everyone thought the merge was going to be like this big, spectacular fireworks event. But if that was going to happen, it would have been a really bad scenario.
Oh, I agree. And I mean, I'm pretty sure we've been taking the stance of like, who knows what happens short term, but long term, it's a bullish catalyst.
Oh yeah, someone, I think it was Fubar on the timeline, said it's like being in a 100-degree room and an air conditioner turning on. Like the air conditioner doesn't change the room to 70 degrees right away. It takes time.
I mean, I love that.
It was a great analogy.
Yeah.
I've used it so many times, and I wish I was one that thought of it.
I mean, it was better than me talking about changing the flight or changing the engine mid-flight, but that's essentially what happened.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that all said, though, we're back, we're recording, and I mean, I hate to say it, but we're pumping.
Yeah, I got a push saying we were up 6% today on Ethereum as I was walking in the door to come do this.
So, I mean, recording nights, regardless if, every other currency besides the US dollar is completely nuking, trending down is just, there's something to it.
There is. We're the counter effect up only. The big question is, do we know when the market goes up and that's when we record? Or does the market go up because we're recording? Like, which way is it working?
I mean, it's a great question, and it would be probably believable that we could like sandbag an episode and just place it when it is about to go up or whatever. But if you think about the subjects, like we're basically talking about stuff that happened like today or the next day, right? So
right, it's like South
like
Park's 5 days to air.
Exactly.
But we're surviving, you know?
We are surviving. I mean, if you're in the US dollar, you're actually thriving. I mean, it's going parabolic.
Which is weird.
It's all so weird. Like it's crazy to think that you could just be holding your local currency over in Europe and all of a sudden you lost like 30% of your purchasing power, like overnight. Like that's the type of severity that's out there right now. So for anyone who's like, on the edge of your seat checking the 5-minute chart on if crypto is going to pump, I think you need to reset the old expectations there.
Yeah, man. But some of
that was the most somber, like, that's how everyone's feeling. Like, yo, hey, Ethersole, how about you shut the fuck up? Because yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't need any more of that. I need hopium, damn it.
I know, right? It's yeah, I don't know, man. Unprecedented times. But here's like some major hopium is that, generally they could, turn things around by printing more. So the fact that we're in a really dark time right now could mean we're close to the 180.
That would be amazing.
I mean, that is the most hopium I could even come up with. So don't.
Yeah, I saw you digging deep for it too. You were deep in the well looking for it.
Oh my God. I was like going through file cabinets in the brain right there. Just trying to figure something out.
The nice part is I just keep clinging on to the fact that if this goes to zero, if crypto disappears overnight,
Oh my God.
I'm in like no worse spot than I was when I started. So like I've really lost nothing.
We talk about that all the time, and that's not happening, but it's true. It's whatever. But at the end of the day, like, it is crazy that, you know, crypto's biggest value prop, or, you know, its core competency right now could be giving global access to like the US dollar.
Okay, now what does that mean? Global access to the US dollar.
Okay, so think about this. If you're in, I mean, I'm just going to pick a country like Malaysia or Zimbabwe rather, and you have a cell phone, right? And you're able to get some money in your Binance account and stuff. You can trade into USDT instead of your local Zimbabwe dollar, right? That's just devaluing by the day.
Okay.
That is on a global scale. So, you know, there's a lot of crypto traders who are in Europe. Imagine that. And, you know, they trade in and out of these coins, but they, you know, denominate in USDC because, you know, the euro and like the pound and all that stuff are not big on chain yet. So by holding their assets, right? So maybe they sold off their Bitcoin and Ethereum a couple months ago, maybe yesterday, I mean, whatever. But they sold it into USDC, decided to hold on chain, whatever. Like not only did they sell to preserve capital, but then that capital that's sitting in USDC, they're up now 30% on their, like if they were to take that to their local currency.
So this is all because our stables are pegged to a dollar essentially.
Right.
Rather than to a euro or to a Zimbabwe currency, which I don't know what it is.
So it's giving like, so like in the past though, to do that, you'd have to open up like a Forex account and trade your local currency, or like, you know, go to the airport and do it that way, you know, like, or the bank, I guess, but like a lot more friction, as opposed to just transferring things into USDT, USDC, all these like stable coins that are all pegged to the dollar.
I mean, that sounds good. That's some good hopium. I like that.
I mean, it's just ironic that, like, you know, out of all things, crypto has basically saved a ton of people and made people look like gods because they're just denominating in USDC.
What I'm shocked by is that we haven't seen more talk about the environmental sustainability of Ethereum now.
Yeah.
Because the counterpoint was so strong of it takes, what was it, like a month's electricity usage to make one NFT?
Yeah.
Like that was such a big argument. It was
one
so
NFT
strong.
burns down an entire rainforest.
Yeah, it was like crazy comparisons.
Right.
And then if you look at the electricity consumption chart after the merge, it went to literally zero. It went to true zero.
I mean, the fact that just by going to, you know, switching from proof of work to proof of stake, getting rid of all that energy usage, I think Ethereum cut down like 0.2% of the entire world's electricity just by doing that in one day.
That's impressive, but it also says how much electricity it was using.
Right.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword there.
I mean, yeah, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
So
we sweep that to the positive side now.
Right, exactly.
Look how bad we did, and look how good we do now.
Pros and cons, baby. It's push and pull.
More pull, preferably, and it's just pulling the numbers up, and then my bags go with it someday.
But let's go back to the AC analogy, right? Like, I don't think it's going to happen overnight of people being like, oh yeah, it's green now. Like, cool. I think now you can have, you know, maybe firms that, you know, couldn't invest in that type of an asset due to, you know, environmental harm. And then now they can. And right. So these type of firms don't move overnight. And so, you know, it may take them a while to like ease in and fully, you know, get those investments approved and, you know, all the hoops they have to jump through. But it now opens the door for them to be able to do that.
Right. I really don't like Elon Musk, but I think that was one of his big things where he didn't want to deal with Ethereum because of how environmentally unfriendly it was.
Yeah. I mean, he wanted to take even Dogecoin to proof of stake. So
right.
it shows that there's definitely weight there. But again, like this type of stuff is a long-term bullish catalyst. And, if it would have pumped overnight, that's not sustainable. So especially in the current environment, just with what's going on right now. So it would have been the healthy thing, but like also, the healthy thing isn't to nuke like it did. So
no, well, I think we called it pretty accurate. We said it was going to be bullish into the merge, should pump on the eve of it, and then kind of grind down afterwards when people realize this did not make gas zero. It did not fix every problem. It wasn't like the magic bullet.
I mean, how wild that it all went so smoothly.
Right? Yeah. Amazing.
That has been not talked about at all, which is wild to me. But of course, people are just like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Moving on.
I was offline the entire night. Like I didn't want to be around to find out if it went poorly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, net worth is now zero. So
yeah, immediately.
You don't want to watch that train wreck in real time.
No, I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
I don't have the mental fortitude for that one.
But we survived, and it went great. And now we're in a post merge era. So I think we're still a little inflationary just because usage is not there on chain. But compared to what the miners were earning per day, it's nothing, not even close.
Right. That's what I think people got wrong when all those tweets came out about, oh, ETH is still inflationary. Here it is, like plus 20 ETH on the counter.
Right.
And that doesn't match anything to what was actually being pulled out previously.
I mean, it's just so funny, right? It's like, oh, it's been 30 minutes and now it's still inflationary. It's like, oh, okay, here you go. Like someone's always got something to say, on the negative side usually. So it's just one of those things.
What'll be fun is seeing that same negative positive counter for Ethereum, whether it's inflationary or deflationary during big events, whether it's like a big liquidation event where gas is getting pumped at 200 Gwei or like an other side mint where it's at 7,000 Gwei. Like I want to see the high score for how low that number can get.
I mean, I can't wait. It's going to get time to build this whole narrative up, and then when retail gets frothy and everyone's, trading on chain and, Uniswapping this, Uniswapping that, yada, yada, like it's going to get real interesting. And, we could see new highs for Ethereum whenever it happens to something that we probably didn't even think was possible because of that.
Oh, absolutely.
You basically turbocharged the Ponzi.
Yeah. 4 years ago, if someone said ETH would be at 5K, I wouldn't have believed them.
Oh, no chance.
And if you told me today ETH will be at 20K, I won't believe you. But at some point in my life, I'm sure I'll sit there and be like, holy shit, it's at 20K.
Hey, imagine that. All I had to do that whole time was buy ETH. Meanwhile, I'm trading NFTs, I'm trading coins, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, I think if I've looked back before and been like, oh shit, wow, if I just put everything in ETH and held, that probably would have been more than everything I'm doing, which is just the most depressing. So I don't think about it. Yeah,
it's hard to stomach that one. We forget those moments.
Oh, absolutely. It's called brushed under the rug, just like the whole energy thing.
Right. Like there's that day where people were posting all the pictures from when they had sold or transacted with ETH when it was like under $100. There was their loss, like trauma.
Yeah.
And that was hard to stomach because I think somebody had a transaction for when it was like under 50.
I mean, lately, like on that point, lately things are so dead. Like the alpha chats of the alpha chats are just dead. Like the degens aren't even around. And I think, we both know people who have been saying that same sort of thing. And then like the only thing you have to talk about is the wins and the crazy losses. But you're seeing screenshots of people who are trading punks at like a 1 ETH. I was like, holy shit. And I was like, and then the 1 ETH, or it was like 1.2 ETH or something. And then the total cost was like 400. And I was like, what? Like it's double layered of holy shit. Like couldn't imagine going back to those times.
No, man. It's like we're in the memory phase of the market right now. Like let's look back on the memories.
Right. People going back, seeing their mistakes, which is honestly a good exercise. I was going to put something out today, but to people who, maybe didn't take profits or would have played it differently, it's a good thing to go back and look over what you would have done different. And that way, you're prepared for the next time, because the same thing's going to happen. You're getting blinded by, the next price target. No, I'll sell in the next 2X. I'll sell in the next 4X, whatever. go back, look at what you would have done, and what you would have been happy with, and then kind of like write that down somewhere, or just at least take a mental note, if anything.
I try to work in percentages and say, like, had you sold at $4,000 for ETH and you saw ETH go to 4.8, you'd be mad.
Of course.
Then you look back and you're like, oh, I sold 20% from the top. That's a great exit.
Exactly.
It's all about that percentage of how close you got.
Yeah.
Whether it's your entry or exit.
And a lot of the game is actually like not deploying back in.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so easy to then be like, you know, ETH drops to 3,500 or 3,200 from your 4K sell. And you're like, yo, I'm scooping cheapy boys.
Mm-hmm. You try to double up.
Yeah.
Keeps going down. It's
you think
falling
you made
knife
a great
now.
Trade. Yeah. And now you're, you know, tossing money in the fire. But,
I feel like a lot of good could come from separate wallets, like a wallet that is just for profit, where you get some profit and you send some to that wallet and it just stays there and you don't touch it.
Yeah, that's super smart. 100%. Have the mental fortitude to not touch it, though.
That's the hard part.
That is the absolute
probably
hard
couldn't
part.
do it.
I mean, there's so many times where it's like, ooh, you know, I got some stables on chain, or I got some ETH on chain in a different wallet. There's this thing I want to ape right now. I think it's going to, you know, do well. Let me slide a little something over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all apes and degens at heart, right? So it's like the temptation there is so high.
As long as you put it, like, if it's an effortful distance away, it's effective. It's like if you have to go through the method of like, oh, I'll just send it from, you know, wallet 1 to wallet 2 in the same MetaMask account, it's not safe. But if it's in like your FTX account that's only on your phone, and that you have to log into every time because you log out when you're done with it, the odds that you pull that out, pretty low. So
like add a layer of difficulty.
Yeah, just enough time for you to like have a 2-minute window to say, wait, I probably shouldn't do this.
Right, exactly. No, that's a smart rule. And you know, I think I mean, back to that original point, that the facts, you know, some of these discords and chats I'm talking about are people who like I would have never thought to go quiet. Like I've been in like the slums with them before and they were active. So it's just crazy to think that we're like at that point in the cycle.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see what chats are dying, which ones are being combined with other ones, kind of where people are moving. Because you can tell a lot from that.
You can definitely tell a lot from that. And the ones that are lively, you kind of walk in there and you're like, whoa, like this is the new. This is my crew for the next run, because you know, we're down to run it. We're still here in the trenches, grinding.
Right.
So it's just an interesting sort of observation there.
It's just funny. Like it really reinforces the fact that crypto kind of seems to be about community, where you find it, whether it's in Telegram, Discord, or like some random Twitter group chat.
Yep.
Like you find some people and you kind of run with them.
It's all about that, you know, like send that DM, reach out to people, form a little circle and, you know, a group chat, a Discord, whatever, and help each other out. And it passes the time, especially during, you know, like this type of phase. And it makes it much more bearable.
Oh yeah. It's also fun. It's like just chatting with people, getting to know people is kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everyone banding together, trying to bring something to the table.
So DAO voting is also illegal.
Yeah. So there was actually a big, this is wild, but there was a big sort of court ruling but complaint filed by the CFTC against BZX. Did you ever hear about them?
No, I didn't follow this until I saw all the news pop up.
Okay, well, they were a DeFi protocol that, like, anyone who knows them in the early days, they got hacked multiple times, and like they just have the worst luck. Anyway, seemed like, I forget whether they started out as this, but either way, it seemed like they went to like a perp trading protocol, kind of like GMX, or one of the many out there, DYDX. It's all either way. Doc's team, everyone knew who the founders were and stuff like that. So they got a complaint by the CFTC claiming that not only were they like operating an exchange without licensing, but then anyone who voted on their DAO like proposals was also guilty by association.
But what does that mean? Like guilt by association, sure. But does that mean like straight to jail?
That would mean, so they had to pay, or I don't think it's decided, right? So this is like something that should be fought. But the thing about the, like how the, justice system or whatever is set up right now, it's like, okay, just take your little slap on the wrist fine. Like the founders will get fined $250K each. And just like move on. Right. But then you have this wording in there that kind of sets a new precedent, if you will. That's like, the rest of DeFi is sitting there being like, no, you need to fight that because we don't want that to become like a new norm. But no, it would basically say that anyone who voted is like liable for penalties as well.
Which is wild. Voting is literally, if you've never done it, and I have never done it, so I am not, guilty by association. Yeah. This is from me watching videos. This is all knowledge I've learned from watching videos of people voting.
Yeah.
You just click a button. You were like, yeah, this side. I'm for this. I'm against this.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you're voting on things that should help the project or hurt the project, whatever. I don't know. It's just a wild precedent to see that. I mean, they're tracking the space well. If you're going to pull anything from it, like they know more than they ever have, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So just wild to see that. And I saw like a lot of people, of course, come out and try and dunk on that. And it's like, oh yeah, all the nerds that voted and all that stuff. Like, like I said, I never have. But
never.
If I
never
did,
would.
There were so many airdrops and like free money for anyone who voted. It's like, yo, relax on that.
Now we know why.
Exactly.
They knew all along.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
But
it was probably the Fed.
Doesn't this mean that all the curve wars and everything completely illegal? Because like voting for Gauge is essentially a DAO.
Right. I mean, people are basically extracting that, right? And being like, oh, so the CFTC also came out, like someone else that works there or something. I mean, people are going to be like, dude, what is he talking about? Anyway, they came out with a dissenting opinion against their own sort of internal ruling. So, saying like, oh, we overreached here. I don't agree with what we're saying. So like they're still kind of figuring out internally whether they're right or wrong. But they came out with a super aggressive stance towards DAOs, and it kind of blew up and blew out of proportion a little bit. But that's what we do.
Man, that gets like all the ecosystem. That hits probably most wallets.
DAO, bro. Like that thing is huge.
You know how many people are voting on that? A lot of people vote on that. Oh yeah.
Right. And okay, think about this. Like the recourse and trying to track down voters, like not gonna happen, dude.
No.
They don't have the resources for that, and it's not worth the time, because what are you going to do? Fine them all $250K? Yeah, right. It's called, you'd have so many court cases on your hands. People would be like, no chance.
Yeah, no. What? Just take my coins. Fuck me.
Right. I mean, it's just another like notch in the belt of like, okay, US is really stifling innovation here, with basically like instead of like giving guidelines, they're basically like trying to force, rulings down people's throats in an effort to like contain what's happening here. But I don't think this one has insane legs, but it was an interesting topic that came up. So it's just like, all right, let's see how this plays out. The immediate reaction of DAOs are dead and going extinct is kind of funny, but,
the irony of Constitution DAO is actually kind of funny now.
Right. How funny is it that it's also like illegal to vote in America now?
Oh yeah, you look at it that way.
Right? Like what?
This is the world we've built. This is Web3, baby.
Oh man, it's just so funny. And it's like, at what point does a changing of the guard happen? Where early days of the internet, there had to be this like, oh, I don't understand it, so let's outlaw this, let's outlaw that. And then eventually, like, imagine if they would have just cut off everything. Like,
This kind of sounds like the reverse approach to the internet, where they said it's like the Wild West, just do whatever you want on that thing. And this time they're like, well, let's actually rein this in a little bit and not do the internet thing one more time.
Yeah. But that seems so smoke to me, because the internet brought like every tech company on, like, the NASDAQ right now, the S&P 500, like every big company is because of the internet, I feel like.
Oh, absolutely.
So why would you not? I mean, maybe because most of these won't be, quote unquote, publicly traded type companies. But there's still going to be, if you were harboring innovation in the US, I guarantee that money would bleed out of the ecosystem into, the surrounding area, obviously taxes, whatever else.
Oh yeah. The DAO thing just seems like such an obscure angle to go after.
Right. I mean, so you had it was like, okay, cool. The SEC is going to toss some of this over to the CFTC and they're going to be chill with us. And then they come out with this, which is like just the most backwards way to look at stuff. And it's like, okay, we were kind of wrong on that.
A new kid on the block here to make a statement.
Yeah, exactly. Coming out guns blazing.
Toss it all back to Gary. Just let him handle it.
Right. I mean, there's some baller lawyers that are trying to move the space forward, and they'll fight this thing, like that's kind of, it's great to have that in the space, right? Like we have there's a lot of money here too,
Oh yeah.
So they're going to fight for their bags.
It'll be interesting to watch, because I just don't see the narrative of how it is illegal and how you are guilty by association. I don't follow that very well. So it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting, and it'll probably shape a lot of the future. I mean, even though I feel like some of these NFT projects even have like a way of voting about them that kind of makes them a DAO.
Oh yeah, I mean, you named it perfectly with ApeCoin.
Right.
ApeCoin it's literally a DAO. They vote on proposals.
Right. I mean, weren't there other ones though? Like during the crazy NFT run, like mutant cats.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, stacking cats. Anything that had like a coin also had some like votability to it on what they did next.
So like what is legal, what's not. I mean, again, come out with some like just a groundwork, a framework, whatever. Like just to like have a basic, general rule set that people can follow, and then we can iterate on that.
Right.
But to come out and just try and like rule by force is just not the way to do it.
Yeah, and what happens to everyone that had done it previously? Like prior to that be the ruling, is it a retroactive guilty or is it a rolling forward thing?
I have no clue if it was retroactive. Again, I've never voted, so that would suck for people. But
so I guess we are actually safe then. So it's really not our concern here.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is.
Classic crypto, baby.
I mean, you just go on the run like a Do Kwon right now, who's wanted by Interpol.
I saw that yesterday. I think I saw that like South Korea was looking for him, and then I saw Singapore today. But he was tweeting along the same time saying he's not hiding. Like, what's going on?
I mean, so anyone who doesn't know who Do Kwon is, it's like the founder of Luna or whatever, and the thing that just crashed and tanked got to, what was it? Did it get to 40 billion?
Oh God, I have no idea how high it got. At one point, he was swapping 1 billion into BTC, so I would not be shocked.
Yeah. So anyway, like people, it was like sort of like a Celsius, but on chain, where it was, hey, just deposit your stables and you'll earn 20% a year. So people ape this thing anyway. He's now wanted like globally, it feels like.
Yeah.
And he, supposedly, because he was silent for a while there, but now he's back to tweeting and like kind of being pretty like brash.
It's almost as if he's doing the same thing again.
Exactly, man.
Like this is the tweet I saw, and it was him quote tweeting his tweet where he said he's not on the run, and now he's saying, to be honest, haven't gone running in a while. I need to cut some calories. Like, what are you saying? Like you're about to start running again? The whole thing's wild.
it's insane. And then all these Interpol sort of like announcements go out, and he completely denies them. He's just like, no, I'm not hiding at all. I'm sitting coding in my living room right now.
Yeah, I don't understand the guy.
Like, I mean, I can't believe the app is free, to be honest. But
honestly, yeah. And all those tweets have location data behind them is the crazy part.
Twitter from iPhone. Like, of course it does.
Yeah. I don't understand why they don't subpoena Twitter to find out where he is. But again, I'm not in the business of like chasing people.
No.
I'm more of like a sedentarian, watch things happen person.
It is kind of crazy how, he had this crypto experiment. It failed. And like now he's being prosecuted. I think it's more about the like fraud angle, right?
Yeah.
Like him siphoning funds while still promoting the scam.
Right. Well, he also this wasn't his first rodeo, right?
Right.
Like, he certainly knew what he was doing and knew it wasn't sustainable.
Right. And I mean, because it would set a bad precedent if people were just getting like thrown in jail left and right because of a failed crypto like experiment,
Right.
But the fraudulent part where it lured, regular people in, and they lost their life savings, then yeah, that is a different level. So,
but where do we redefine the word experiment from? Like, I'm just testing something to like, I'm testing something that has, $40 billion behind it. Like, at what point is it not an experiment?
That's a great question. Is it when it reaches $1 billion? Like, I mean, that's a lot of money.
I would actually argue it's like smaller. Like an experiment is like me on the test net with like some bots trying to see like, does this actually work with like maybe the second it hits mainnet,
it's not an experiment.
Maybe like I've always wondered that because you see the word experiment thrown around a lot as a way to kind of absolve responsibility.
Well, that was a big buzzword in NFTs for a minute.
Ooh, I wonder why.
Right? It would be like, hey, we found out that you started 20 different NFT projects, and the last one that you did finally hit. What was up with rugging everyone for the other 19? Oh, they were experiments.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
okay.
That's fine. Yeah, you're just learning.
Right. You're right. There has to be some sort of accountability or framework there to like figure that out. But in a sense, you could argue the other side of like a startup, right? Where, I mean, how many startups go under?
Yeah, the difference though is startup is using money from like a VC and not from like a crowdsourced entity.
Fair.
And we can like absolve that and be like, oh, VCs are like not your neighbor, so like who really cares?
Right. So it's all about,
I think it's where the money comes from.
And if we're trying to do this open finance world, it's tough to then go out there and want to start something because, not everything's going to be a resounding success. And
right. And maybe that's an audience problem. Maybe we haven't accepted that in crypto, we are the VC, that we're like a decentralized VC and we do take on the risk of this might implode in 24 hours.
I mean, crypto in my eyes has always been you're now an angel investor. You're like able to access crazy back end deals that normally aren't available. And I'm not talking about seed rounds and stuff like that. I'm talking about protocols that are out there that you can get in early. You're basically an angel investor with like no lockup terms on equity. So you even have more favorable terms than like VC world and stuff. Mm-hmm. But all the risk of a standard angel investment, which is like, okay, cool. This could go either way. But not many people take that same mindset. They think they're owed something.
And I think that's where a lot of people go like down the wrong path.
Yeah.
The minute I spend any money in crypto, I just write it off as lost. And if it comes back in a bigger amount, I'm like, hey, okay, that was good.
That's a dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy, especially when you start tossing around size. Or, I mean, it doesn't even matter about size either because, for any part of like your net worth is just a percentage, right? So
right, it's all relative.
It's all relative, exactly. Losing fucking 200K for someone could be the same as losing 500 for someone,
right?
In like the grand scheme of it, and both would suck for that person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know how to solve it, and we're probably not going to figure it out on this podcast.
No, we're not those guys, but we can pontificate about it pretty well.
Exactly. So, Do Kwon.
He's actually trending right now. I didn't realize that.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a trending topic on crypto Twitter.
Oh boy.
Bunch of fake memes coming out about it too, saying he was arrested and X, Y, and Z, but
oh my God.
Nothing real.
What's your take on that, where people basically pose, so they'll change their profile picture to like a news agency, and then they'll say breaking news, all caps, like, yada, yada, is arrested by Interpol.
I block them.
Right? Because I've seen that type of shit. Oh my God. What was it? I think it was like a stock or something. And they did that, and Forbes and all these, like, of course you got to blame the news agencies for picking it up.
Right.
But, I think it was Costco.
Oh, it was the hot dog, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they were talking about the price of the, anyway, it nuked the Costco stock. Now, I think the markets were nuking that day as well. So you could kind of argue maybe it wasn't exactly that. Mm-hmm. But when Yahoo Finance picks it up, Forbes, all this stuff, and it goes across the timeline, like, I don't know. It just seems like you're playing with fire.
Yeah, man. I don't block anyone. But when people do that shit, I block it immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's not funny. Like, if it's a blatant meme, like I've seen some that are like, they're kind of the had you in the first half kind of messages where it starts out legitimate and then it trails off into the most absurd thing you've ever read.
That's fine with me.
That's funny. But when they try their best to look legitimate just to get like some viral engagement, like, that's not the person I'm looking to follow. Like, you don't have anything to offer me.
Yeah, they go around dunking on that, oh, I got you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's a waste of time in my head.
Yeah, it's like some like playground antics.
Right.
Like, I'm not here for that. Like, if I want that to like hit Reddit, I'll hit like,
right.
Like probably just Reddit.
Yeah.
Or like the shitposting channel in Discord.
Right. And it goes to say, like, there is backlash from that type of shit. Like, where if you were to, maybe you had a ton of shorts on Costco and you did something like that and you profited, like, I don't even think you need to have that, but there probably is a fallout from that where it's like, okay, cool, we're going to come find you because you can't be doing shit like that.
Oh, I'm sure. You could probably argue manipulation in some way.
Right.
You've also got Twitter took a stance against it as well. I think someone did it with McDonald's and they got banned. And I think it was like Crypto Jeebus. And he had 200 and some thousand followers and was just gone overnight.
Is that how Jeebus got his account banned?
Yeah. He impersonated
somebody.
And I don't know who it was. I thought it was McDonald's.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, everyone came out and was like, restore his account. He made an alternative account trying to just kind of be active and like get the word out. And essentially said, like, if I don't get the account back, I'm not coming back. And then gave a final tweet saying it's not going to happen. So see you later.
Wow. Well, he has another account now, but
he does.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm sure he did.
Yeah. But, don't think it's cool, but it is what it is because it's the internet. People are going to troll. So just block them and move on.
Yeah. Like, I've been saying this, I'm going to keep saying it. We've got like 2 years to go into like a true euphoria bull probably, but the timeline's going to cannibalize itself.
Oh, for sure.
Just looking, you have so many people that built a following from nothing by doing possibly nothing sometimes besides just like being around.
Yep.
And they're going to realize like, shit, there's actually nothing I can add here, but I have, 40,000 followers and I want to keep growing this. What do I do? And you just go after people. You try to create content through drama.
I mean, there is a subset of Twitter that is like for sure on that hype. They just love stirring the pot. Doesn't matter. They'll take the other side of any argument. And
other side. Woo.
There you go. That's what imagine if we had like a drinking game in this. Like anytime I say this, you drink.
I got a fun story about that. We played a drinking game in college one time, and we made up the rules. We were watching the Christmas version of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And before we hit play, we made the rules of like if they say Santa, tree, present, Christmas, elf, Noel, like all these words you had to drink.
Every word in the English language.
We picked all the Christmas words,
yeah, exactly.
trying to pregame for this night. And I kid you not, in the first scene, they were like, oh, let's go see the elves and the Christmas trees, and we can all get each other presents while we go like visit Santa at the mall. And we're sitting here just like ripping drinks, trying to keep up.
Perfect.
I don't think we made it halfway through the show when we were like, all right, we need to go out or we're not going to make it out.
Yeah, we got to shut this episode down immediately.
Yeah, so we cannot make this into a game like that. Bender will not make it through.
We could just toss it to the listeners.
Yeah, seriously, come in and ad-lib for us.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can make the rules. If you hear us saying something over and over, I don't even want to know, but you can make it.
Oh, dangerous. I would probably play it, though. I would absolutely play along with the game at some point.
For sure, but like, you don't listen to this back, do you?
No, I had one time when everyone made fun of my microphone. Because I felt pretty bad about that.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the second one.
Was about to start up a GoFundMe for you to get a new mic.
What's funny is I walked past a bunch of like brand new podcasting microphones this week in a store, and I was like, I should probably get one of those. Nah. It's part of my brand now.
Yeah. No chance.
No, none.
But I mean, speaking of scams, though,
hey,
there's like new OpenSea scams going around. I don't know if you've seen it, but in your inbox, you'll basically say like, "Oh, new offer on NFT you've never even knew you held," and so I'm not quite sure how it works, but always worth mentioning when scams are out there.
I have one. I have one in my inbox right now.
Okay. Should we like do this live?
Yeah, I can look through it. You mentioned it earlier, so I opened my inbox as you said this, and there's a bunch of shit in here I've never seen before.
Right.
And they've got offers for like 2-3 ETH on them.
Oh, no shit. Mine were always like 0.2.
Here, yeah, I've got a 0.1. Here's a 0.2, 0.23, 0.34. Things I've never heard of, and I've definitely never bought.
So the scam is they airdrop this to you. So I've heard two differing things. Now you let me know which one you think is even possible. They airdrop you. You accept the offer, and then somehow your entire wallet gets drained. Now that doesn't seem possible to me because unless it somehow added an approval for all, but why would OpenSea have you do an approval for all NFTs if it was just this random NFT collection?
Yeah, that seems weird.
So then the other scam that I've heard that is associated with this is that the airdropped NFTs in your wallet, you see you have an offer, you go to your OpenSea, you click on it, you look at the description to figure out what the fuck is this thing, right? Like I never had this. And then in the description, there is a scam link in there that takes you to somewhere that scams you.
Okay, so both of those sound bad.
Right. I mean, the wipe your wallet one sounds insanely bad. And I've seen some people make threads about if you approve this WETH offer that you will get your entire account drained. But that just doesn't seem like something that would be possible, especially like on an OpenSea end of like, no, there's no way they can have a vulnerability for you like that. But maybe I'm mistaken. Like,
I'm a believer in you can do anything through code, so I'm always hesitant to say it's not possible.
Right. Well, for sure, like if you're listening to this, don't be like, oh, let me go try. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this mainly so you're aware and you don't go into your wallet or your inbox and see all these offers for NFTs you never held and start accepting these offers. Like, just delete it.
Yeah, let me be very clear. I'm sitting here trying, and I see all these. Yeah, it's just as you're describing it. It's this NFT collection. There's two of them. There's two owners, and I'm one of them. There's two different links in the description for one's for a free mint and one's for their website.
Okay.
Like none of the data makes sense. It says it's a collection of 9,999. Like the data clearly shows only two of these things exist.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, like it all stinks if you just kind of take a close look at it. But if, you're an unsuspecting person that says, hey, here's a free $300 that I could just accept really quick, it might be bye-bye.
Yeah. Not good.
No, I've got a bunch of these. You want one?
Yeah, for sure. Send it over my way. So I've heard of other scams where it's like they give you basically they'll do like a collection offer but not have WETH, and so you'll buy an NFT that's below you're at floor price to then sell it to the offer that's you think is waiting there, but the offer's not really there. So I've seen that, but anyway, new scam. Just be aware of that. Like, honestly, just delete the inbox notifications. I would recommend, and then hide them on your OpenSea folder if you really care about that.
The interesting part is all of these, the amount of owners and the amount of items is identical number.
So it's always two. So some other person and probably the scammer, and then
right. Well, it's collection wide too. Looks like so. This collection has 500 items, and there's 501 owners.
Interesting.
This one's 500, 501. This one's 200, 201. So there's always one additional owner than there are items.
Okay.
And that's because one of them is probably the bait, maybe.
Right.
And owned by two people.
Got it.
I've not looked into this, but I definitely have 6 of them in my wallet I'm looking at.
Yeah. So this kind of hit today, and so I just wanted to bring it up because it's new, and I think it's important to spread the word about this type of stuff where it's like, you're better off ignoring it, especially if it seems too good to be true. Hey, here's this random NFT. I'll take the $500, of course. Who wouldn't? But
no one's airdropping you free money that you don't know about.
No.
And if they are, make sure someone else gets that money first. You never want to be the first person to be like, hey, it worked.
Yeah. Wouldn't advise doing that.
No. Even when Looks Rare came out and their airdrop happened like around Christmas, I waited like 8 hours and just was kind of sitting there saying, is anyone going to get like ruined over this? And once it was very safe, I took mine.
Yeah. You never even want to be in like the first 500.
No.
You know what I mean? Like if there was a bug, they could wait for enough people to get in there and that would be worth it,
Absolutely.
So
it's always best to wait, like miss out on a little bit of profit, second guess that 1 ETH offer that for this NFT you've never seen before. Like, I do not own Naruto Ninja #1. I don't know what this is.
Oh, bro, you don't know about Naruto Ninjas?
No, but it's got a 3 ETH floor, and it looks like free money. So I'm about to lose it all for this one, man.
Yeah, exactly. See, there you go. 1 ETH offer, 3 ETH floor. That's the mismatch right there.
Yeah.
So just be wary.
They're getting more creative, which kind of says something to me is that when scammers are still trying to scam you, it's bullish. I never got scammed when crypto was quote unquote dead.
Like, I mean, I completely agree. It's scammers are not in the industry if there's no money to be made, and there's not money flowing. So, yeah, bullish, baby.
Bullish, or it says there's enough unintelligent people around that will get caught. And I don't know which one I want to look at. I'm going to pick the positive side here.
I'm going to pick bullishness as well because, this is our industry as well. So we got to embrace the left curvers.
Man, there are a lot of these emails. Whew.
Yeah.
All right, we close those. We don't look back.
No, we close that. Okay, so we're going to start down the road of some requests that people wanted us to talk about. But the first one I wanted to touch on before we get into anything else, because it's kind of a big subject and kind of a new narrative forming right now. Not new, I would say, but a narrative nonetheless. ApeCoin and the staking. So people wanted us to touch on that. Do you kind of are you familiar with the details there?
I didn't read the mathematical details, but I know the nitty gritty when it starts, what the plan is.
Yeah. So if you own a mutant or a Bored Ape or a dog, you have to hold a certain amount of ApeCoin.
Right.
And then stake both of those together as a pair, and then you earn ApeCoin.
Which
have you
kind of
looked
what we
at
thought.
The APRs?
No, are they crazy? I assume not.
Bro.
Shut up.
Okay. So
How?
They assume 80% of people
What?
stake. They assume 80% of people stake, right?
Oh,
which is astronomical amount.
Right.
Because one, no one has the ApeCoin anymore. So they also had a calculation of how much ApeCoin people need to buy to like make up the deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let's not even think about that calculation. Let's just be like, okay, a ton of people need to buy ApeCoin right now to even access these APRs. But if 80% staked and somehow had got the ApeCoin and everything, which means number is up, so these APRs are probably off by a lot. It's going to be 400 to 500%.
No.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then on day one, if it's like, I mean, that could be Ponzi level type numbers.
Absolutely.
And so, of course, disclaimers, if anyone who's been around the DeFi block, you see an APY, APR, whatever, and it's high, you should be very well versed that that's not going to last because dilution, people are going to be selling rewards.
It's a race.
Right. So people were clowning on Bored Apes and on Twitter being like, holy shit, I'm going to be earning this amount per day, right? Like already taking it to the bank type deal. Like I'm going to be earning, I think it was like $1,000 a day at current levels, assuming 80% of people stake, right? And still, again, that's a wild number.
Yeah, that's a high number.
Because I think maybe like, let's just say maybe 10% have enough ApeCoin right now to stake. So you have this kind of potential catalyst, right? Of do you buy, and staking is rumored to be coming in October in Halloween, right?
Yeah, 31st.
So you have this month, right? Where people either choose to buy back the ApeCoin that it takes to stake to earn the rewards. So you have people outside the ecosystem now thinking about buying Ape just for that sort of catalyst. Now, if you're going to do this, the playbook is to sell before staking goes live, right? Sell on the run up. Maybe there's like a squeeze in price because people are trying to, get enough to stake.
Just like the mint. Identical to it.
Exactly. And so this is going to be a hype narrative, right? The closer we get to this staking date, more and more people are going to be talking about it. And then the day it launches, again, I would sell before. But if you were a gambling crazy boy, which we all are, you see these people are going to see these crazy APRs and be like, oh shit, let me hop in there. So you could even have, a pump that day, but it would probably be the last leg. So it's an interesting topic. When someone brought this up to me, the market was like for sure nuke city. So it was just one of those things of like, I don't know if I'm buying anything right now, especially ApeCoin, which I want to be a Bored Ape, so I probably should have, but it's been holding up well in all of the nuke. So I don't know. There's a catalyst there.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I think I see it more so with the overall market trying to play the catalyst than I see the catalyst itself.
Of course, like the actual staking event always disappoints, but there are gonna be, I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of NFT people aren't well versed with DeFi and that these APRs will drop and they'll get diluted and the ApeCoin number go down and like,
they're going to get their asses waxed on this. They're going to do the math after like an hour. They're going to buy another ape and buy more ApeCoin, try to double down.
Day one, they're going to be like, I'm earning $2,000 a day. And so the amount of ApeCoin that's set aside right now is just for 1 quarter, right? So it's 3 months. So that can't even be annualized. And because it goes down every quarter, the amount of ape that they're giving to people. But still, when Kobe writes threads about how they should have used those funds to like grow their own ecosystem instead of like having this, sort of circle jerk, sort of like staking, where it's like, okay, cool, earn more of the same coin that you're staking for. Like it's just, valueless staking, printing. I don't see it ending well. But there is probably a play for near-term price appreciation. Will I play it? I don't know. I don't know if I have capital that's willing to like take a risk on something like that.
Yeah, I think it depends how the overall market looks. If we have a big bad catalyst or something in middle of October, it doesn't matter what ApeCoin's doing. If Bitcoin takes a hit,
Right.
ApeCoin's going to go with. But
it's interesting. I mean,
it is. I like the catalyst of the event more than I actually like the event. Like having to, if you still hold ape, I think it's more lucrative for you than if you have to buy the ape. Unless you buy the ape early enough and there's a huge run up where you're like absolving that risk in the already like positive gains you have that are unrealized.
Yep. I think if anything, like if you have been holding ape and you haven't sold yet, this could be your chance. And then if you caught this even earlier, it's probably a good play. If you're a super degen, it might be worth a punt because it's still a month away. So, generally that's
one
enough
thing
time.
That doesn't make sense to me is it's only a 3-month runway for the emissions for the ApeCoin.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another other side event happening in Q4.
Yep.
Which is when all this starts happening. And if staking starts and there's a 3-month runway and there's also an other side event, whatever it may be happening, we know there's 100,000 more plots that need to be minted. It wouldn't shock me if they raise more ApeCoin to put into the staking emissions pool to go into 2023.
Okay, so one other thing that has to be mentioned is a lot of those VCs that joined up with, Bored Apes and got a bunch of ApeCoin, they all unlocked. So
yeah,
this event could be the perfect opportunity for them to be, oh, hey, exit liquidity, come do this staking thing, pump the price so we can gradually sell our bags into it.
Yeah, but I don't hate that if I'm selling into it with them.
Right. Of course.
You just don't want to be the ones buying the bags. I think that's a big thing to pay attention to.
Yeah. Okay. If you're going to walk away from one thing here, I think it's the staking play of itself is probably not the move.
Kind of a red herring, I feel like.
Yeah. Watch it just print, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
Watch it just be 10,000 APR. No one's doing it. No one wants to touch it. And some dude's just printing hundreds of thousands off his Bored Apes. Probably Franklin.
Yeah, I would say Franklin's there just churning money, tweeting about how he flipped for 0.006, but his ApeCoin printed 50 grand in the last 5 minutes.
Right, exactly. So yeah, interesting topic. A lot of cool market dynamics there, which I just personally geek out on and can't wait to watch happen. Might be sitting this one out personally, but definitely going to be watching and hoping I don't get FOMO when it's day one APRs are fucking through the roof and I'm just fuck.
Oh, I'll get FOMO and I'll hop in. I know I will. I know myself too well. Absolutely. I'm already ready to do it.
Well, it's because, we're kind of biased, right? We like the project. It's easier to buy into something that you believe in longer term.
Right. And we're already into it. So it's
right.
We're halfway there.
I mean, yeah, not many people, I don't know, either way.
It also comes down to the narrative that's happening on the timeline. If we're sitting like we are now, where there's not a lot happening, and the only thing people are talking about for 2 weeks is this ApeCoin staking, you'd be stupid not to try to find a way to play it.
I agree. I mean, while we're on the podcast, we're almost up to 1,400 ETH. So
no way.
We could be, I want to say it. So yeah, either way, things are interesting right now. So
we've done it again.
We've done it again, dude. Speaking of us doing shit again, or for the first time ever, is there something that you might want to give a leak about?
Yeah, something's coming. I keep saying something's coming, and it's not the something that Kaleo talks about. But something I've been working on for a long time, and I'm not going to say a whole lot. I like to keep it a little more obscure and vague and let the rumor mill run. But I put a lot of thought into this. If you've been on my short list of friends, you've probably got some long page dissertation at some ungodly hour about an idea that would work or some novel concept. And this is kind of where all those are going to come together in the future. And we're slowly letting it out onto Twitter that there is something here, and it's not just what's happened in the past, kind of reimagined. I'm hoping to do things that are new and kind of fun, different. I really latched on the idea that Yuga Labs started a bull run for NFTs and said, here's how you do things. And then, DeFi had their own summer and said, here's how you do things. And all we saw for both of those was reinventing the same wheel and saying, here's a wheel that's made out of concrete. Here's a wheel that's made out of clay. And it's the same exact like materials and building blocks. And that's not fun anymore. So, yeah, something's coming up and hoping to do things different than we've seen them before.
I mean, I'm fired up. I could run through a brick wall right now.
You bricked up?
I'm bricked the fuck up. So on the last episode, we had a little teaser there.
A little more this time.
Right. So people, did they DM you?
Yeah. I got a lot of people DMing me about their favorite Simpsons character. Yeah, okay. It was actually fun.
Okay, that's cool.
The cool part was so many people got creative. I think they thought that the character mattered.
Got it. Okay.
I got obscure characters that I had to go look up and be like, is this actually one of them? And I was like, holy shit, like, okay. Got a lot of like Homer Simpsons, Bart Simpsons.
Okay. I mean, that's dope. Like, I like, I don't know, that's just cool to hear that people not only listen, but, kind of like ran with it too.
Yeah.
Added their own little sauce, if you will.
It was neat, and it was fun to kind of hide something in there for people to say, hey, I do listen. I pay attention. It was like a way to reward people that aren't just, hey, I've got 80,000 followers, let me in.
Yeah.
Which I hate that shit. It's so dumb.
Right. I mean, we kind of had a discussion about this, and there was, two sides to the argument, right? Of, well, hey, I've put in a ton of work to get to this status, quote unquote status, right? I deserve some of these special privileges of whitelists and stuff like that. And it's a fair take, but not everyone is in that camp though.
Right. And it's a push and pull. I've talked about this before somewhere where you need those people. Like you need the people that have a shitload of followers and that their goal is exposure and to help things grow. Like you have to have those in an ecosystem. That's how Instagram grew to, a $50 billion revenue product.
Yep.
Because they made influencers and they said, hey, we can actually make this a marketing platform, and that's what you really need. But you can't only have and incentivize those. You have to incentivize the people that make those people possible. And those are the people that kind of, I guess, I identify with, because I didn't want this, Twitter account. I just wanted to scream into the void, and
yeah,
it sucks to see the same people get the same wins and know there's someone else that's equally as deserving, and the same exact person somewhere else saying like, working my ass off in this Discord trying to like, I don't know, get the seed round for like whatever it may be protocol and not get it because they only have 200 followers. Like I hate that.
Yeah, I think that's great though. Like it's summed up perfectly. And so, can we expect some more leaks on the pod?
Oh yeah. It's absolutely. Yeah. I think the podcast will be, it's like an unfettered place to talk about it. Like on Twitter, I have to be careful what I say, things that taken out of context and spread around, but the podcast,
they'll take shit to the bank too. They'll be like, hey, I screenshotted that. Like, you better follow through.
Absolutely. Like voice clip me on here and put it on the timeline. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more of like, this is like me and you talking and talking about what's coming up. And you can just kind of talk more freely about what you're thinking and what you're doing. And I guess I'm not afraid to say things here that might upset people.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, we'll have more info here probably that happens faster than the timeline.
Well, there you go. If that's the only thing you're tuning in for, then you're going to have to listen to more, but also, rewarding those that, tune in and check it out. And I think that's a cool way to do it because that might be the first ever.
Yeah. Because I want it to be something more fun, man. I want it to be engaged. I want it to give back to the people that deserve it, not the people that, made 50 Discord bots and found their way through. So this time we'll do something fun like, first 20 to send me their favorite marine animal.
Ooh,
It
okay.
can get in.
What's yours?
Oh no, I was not prepared for this. Oh man, I'm looking at a eraser that is a turtle. I have this little like turtle eraser for unknown
Okay.
reasons, but probably anglerfish. I think they're super cool.
Whoa, dope.
Yeah, like ocean's monstrosity.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything to do with the ocean is like mad fascinating, I think. So
Pretty wild, right? I only slept like 3 hours last night. I don't really know why, but I was wide awake this morning, which is why I responded to your message at like 7 a.m.
yeah, I was shocked by that.
Yeah, you should be. But I went deep through like every Reddit or subreddit that had to do with the ocean this morning, just trying to like pass some time.
How it's essentially like space.
Yeah, wild. Absolutely crazy, man.
So there you go. Hit them up with your favorite marine animal and first 20. But
First 20 get in.
Honestly, I'm excited to learn more and just like have it grow, because at the end of the day, a project is only as good as its community. For the most part, you know, there's obviously other factors that can help, but at the end of the day, it's all about the people. And so,
Yeah,
it's
and that's
cool.
what makes it fun.
It's cool to take a different approach. I like that.
Yeah, you know, Utes tried to do this manufactured, or they use the term manufactured, and they double backed and said engineered, and I think
Curated.
manufactured. Yeah, I think
Probably should be.
manufactured is the right word, because it wasn't what it should have been. And if you like the Utes or you like D-Gods, like that's fine. I'm not bashing on you, but I didn't tweet about them. I went to the website, sent in a low effort application, and they accepted me. And I was like, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's not like you didn't manufacture a community. Like you didn't put effort into it.
No, it was like a curated process that generated a lot of hype, and that's from like a perspective of someone who's not super involved. So
Right.
but
So
anyway,
it's time to have fun, do things
Yeah.
different, and see what happens.
exactly. I love that. Are we gonna call it an experiment?
Oh gosh. Once it leaves a test net, I think it's done being an experiment.
True. All right. Cheers to that.
I have been called a think tank, so we might call it I don't know, imagination.
Okay. We'll take it. We can definitely redefine the word experiment and come up with a new
Absolutely.
meta.
Do we have some Twitter topics?
Yeah. So
I saw some good ones today.
Yeah, let's round it out with Twitter topics. Let's start off with martinis. Anyone who follows me, okay, so how does this stem, right? First off, all of crypto Twitter, NFT Twitter, you're either playing like WoW basically right now, or you're managing a fantasy football team. And so tweeted out some pics of Sunday Night Football, drinking some dirty martinis, and people want us to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have you lead this.
Okay.
I bartended for a while, so I know a bit about martinis, but I actually don't like them.
Okay, I'm a huge Tito's dirty, 2 olives, extra dirty martini guy. I mean,
So you just like olives then and vodka.
And that's the thing. I don't really like olives, but I like the fact that it's like, maybe it's just like swamp water, I call it, but it's like kind of salty.
Swamp water.
Yeah, dude. It's when it's like a little tinge of green, basically. That's how.
What are you drinking tonight?
I like it.
Give me a swamp water.
Yeah, right. I feel
Sounds
like it's just like a
appetizing.
classy way to have shots.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of just like, maybe I'm a little more elevated, or think I am, right? But no, I mean, it's just an easy to go down type of deal. So, but you can't. They're dangerous. They're very dangerous.
Oh, they sneak up on you because each one is like, I think 3 ounces of vodka.
Yeah.
Or 2.5 or something like that.
Yeah.
You're using the classic green olives, right? I forget the name of them.
Yeah, they'll always ask, do you want the blue cheese? And I'm like, nah, because, now hear me out. I don't mind blue cheese, but those things just get all like, the cheese just starts getting like, it starts breaking down in the drink. So it's like all floating around.
Yeah, that's not appetizing. I mean,
No.
it does reinforce the idea of swamp water. So I'm a little shocked you don't like it.
It fully does, huh? I probably should like it, but there's probably going to be people like, dude, you have to get the blue cheese olive. It's great when it's floating around. And it's like, nah, it's not my thing.
I like the little red thing in the olive. Whatever that red thing is in there, it's great.
I have no idea what that is. and I'm not even gonna say what I think. So, so you're not a fan of martinis, though.
No, I'm not a big martini fan.
So, what would be like your go-to?
Oh God,
if you're watching some Sunday Night Football, managing your fantasy football team, are you just cracking a cider?
Sometimes, man, it kind of goes all over. So
okay,
martinis, I hate vermouth, and
I don't put vermouth in it. So.
Oh, you don't? Okay, so
no.
it truly is just vodka or like olive vodka. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a little better.
Yeah, I don't do the vermouth. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate gin, and I forget that every time.
Okay,
so,
see, I can handle a gin martini. Someone did ask that specifically in this question too.
Really?
Vodka or gin, and they love a dirty gin. So,
see, here's my thing: gin smells phenomenal. Cannot drink it. And anytime someone comes to me at the bar, like a restaurant, and takes my drink order, and I don't know what it is, I panic and I say a gin and tonic. And it never fails. My girlfriend looks at me and she's like, "You hate those." I'm like, I know. I panicked. Never fails.
I mean, that's hilarious. You know, gin's stronger too, right?
It doesn't surprise me. It's horrible.
So it'll get you going.
Yeah, I've probably drank 3 gin and tonics in the last month, and I hate every single one of them. And it just keeps happening.
You just panic. You're like, all right, gin and tonic.
Every time I get like that anxiety of like, oh, like they're doing their job, they're busy, like I don't want to take up their time.
Right.
First thing in my head, gin and tonic.
Wow. So there's no go-to though. A cider. Come on, it has to be a hot cocktail that you like.
Oh man, tequila pineapple was like my go-to cocktail for a while, but it kind of changes on my mood. I've been in a cider mood lately. Someone got me like a cider subscription that comes every month.
Shit.
Oh
like
yeah,
a
it's
little
awesome.
Subscription box of ciders.
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift last year, and it's still coming. And we're at almost October. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Gift.
I got deep into what are those damn things called?
White Claws?
Not White Claws, the better one. That's
Noons?
Like High Noons. Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Well, that actually has real vodka in it. So
right. I'm deep in like the canned cocktails right now because I learned there's a whole new market for them. You can get like canned Moscow mules from different breweries or like manufacturers.
That's like a new emerging thing where, you know, you have a ton of these companies now putting actual alcohol in there instead of the malt liquor base. Yeah,
and it's phenomenal. So I've been going down that route. But if I'm at a bar, man, I'm probably going tequila pineapple or any just like maybe a tequila shot. I'm a huge tequila guy.
I mean, yeah, I'll rip tequila all day. So
absolutely, it's just fun.
That like nothing gets me more fired up than a little tequila.
I was with some people I think 2 weeks ago, and I thought they loved vodka, so I bought like a nice bottle of vodka that had like some cool art on it. And I thought it was fun. I hate vodka.
Yeah.
So I pour the shots and I take the shot. I'm like, this is horrible. Why did I do this? And
I cannot do shots of vodka.
No, man.
About doing a cup full of shots of vodka.
Yeah. My buddy goes, yeah, I just drink tequila now because it's the only alcohol that isn't a downer.
Yeah, you do get some energy off of it, huh?
Yeah, but I'm like, man, that's not how alcohol works. Like it's definitely a downer still.
Yeah,
like,
true.
But we'll let you have that one.
It's like that air gap phone I was talking about.
Exactly. Like it's not really air gap, but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
like tequila hypes you up for unknown reasons.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
The best part is my buddy listens to this and he's going to hear this and he's going to send me a text. It's okay.
We love that.
We do.
We love that. Shout out to the buddy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we covered that. That was a good one.
Good sources for DeFi, I heard was one.
Yeah, follow Ethersole. That's all I need.
Seriously, that's what I do.
No, I feel like there's like more education out there. So one thing I'm kind of a little annoyed about is like there's so many DeFi threaders. They're now being called where it's like, okay, let me do a thread about this new thing. But a lot of them are just accounts that are copy pasting content and like doing nothing unique and then doing that to gain more followers. They're just like basically repackaging someone else's content. So it's like for example, GMX, right? There's like 1,000 threads on that, but they'll just keep cranking them out because they'll get new followers. But anyway, good sources for DeFi. Honestly, if you hop in some of the more established protocols like Discords, that's a great place to get started, get familiarized. You know, and then there's a lot of good accounts on Twitter that do some quality content. You got to kind of weed through the shilling and the paid promotions versus genuine like educational content. There's people out there who just talk about everything and don't have a position in everything. I personally don't talk as much about everything that I used to, so probably not the best for that, but there's tons of resources out there. So I would just like go on Twitter and scroll people and then get in Discords, you know. But
I found all my info through Telegram and Twitter.
Telegram.
Telegram was a huge resource for me in DeFi.
That's crazy because so I have to have Telegram for like some of the stuff I'm involved in, but I just cannot stand using it compared to Discord.
Yeah, no, I feel sketchy using it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it feels like there's like a scammy element to it.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I lived on it during the DeFi days.
That's interesting, and I've heard that a ton, right? And I thought just people like preferred it because a lot of these projects, they just were solely Telegram. And so it was like, you had to be there. So obviously I was jumping in there, but if you have a Discord, I'll go in there. I mean, there are still big projects that have a way more active community on Telegram, but they also have a Discord.
Yeah, that's what I was finding too.
And it blows my mind. Like, I feel like the whole entire Binance chain is like on Telegram.
I believe that. That just feels like Binance to me.
Doesn't Telegram just kind of like reek of Binance chain?
Yeah, it's called scam chain for a reason.
Right.
And Telegram is like all encrypted, like very scammy. It just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
It feels like it should feel.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you feel the same way because I was like,
absolutely,
it feels weird on it, but you can't you have to have all the tools in the toolbox, right? Even if you don't like using it a ton, you have to have it. So
I had another topic that came up. Somebody else asked me to talk about this one. Two things. I think both are relevant. Tyler Hobbs, the Fidenza creator, has a new art drop coming.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's like a 30 ETH Dutch auction or something crazy.
QQL.
Yeah. Dandelion QQL or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's like you mint a pass, and then you can use that pass to burn to create like one of these generative art things.
And you create your own. Everyone creates their own who buys a pass.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. I think
that's interesting.
I don't like it though, and I don't like it in the sense of like, if you're buying it for art, awesome. Right. You pay the price tag, you get what you get. But it's so hard for me to take that bet and say that because Fidenza is so sought after, that this will also be sought after. Like, I don't buy into that narrative that, just because you did it right once means you can do it right twice.
Was Fidenza something that the user created? It was all him, right?
Those were generative through art blocks. Right.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, he like makes a script and then it runs and like spit out what it is. And this,
right.
So this is kind of an interesting thing where it's like a new form of art where he created this program that spits out, and you just like rerun it multiple times if you don't like the one you got.
Yeah. And I saw some cool ones.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing them too. They do look cool. I don't know. I kind of prefer like, all right, I trust the artist. If you create this program that's going to spit this out, like I just want what I want. And that's like the thought of someone sitting there slamming, refresh until they get something they think that looks cool. I mean, it's interesting. It's novel, but again, I feel like it's like a weird form of art to me. I don't know. I'm always at like the wrong side of these type of things anyway, so probably shouldn't listen to me.
Yeah, I'm bad on the art side. I don't always understand it, and I'm okay with that.
I've fully accepted it.
But it's something that's big enough that's happening that
it has to be talked about. 30 ETH auction.
Crazy.
I mean, in this economy?
Right?
Who just got ideas? What the fuck? Like, okay, 70K, but it's obviously not gonna be 30 ETH. So what do we think it drops to?
Dude, I I wouldn't be shocked if it actually goes near 30 ETH. I think there's a lot of stupid money out there still that
How
buys
many
that
pieces again?
idea. I think it was like 100 or 1,000. It's not a lot. It was a small
If it's
number.
1,000, dude, I swear, and he gets 30 ETH per,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
nuts.
quit the game.
30K Ethereum.
I'm gonna go make some stupid. Okay, whatever. I can't even go down the road. But
You unfortunately have to be Tyler Hobbs to pull it off.
I mean, okay, this is so dumb, but like, what's his background prior to Fidenza?
I have no idea.
So he just
no clue.
pulled Fidenza out of his whatever, and now it's like, okay, he's a renowned artist, isn't it? Just it's all like a computer program anyway.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's interesting to me, man.
it toes a line for sure. And I don't really know where I stand on it. Like I'm of the mind that code is art. Like the code I write is a form of art in its own way, because it's also creating something from nothing.
100%, and I'm not arguing that.
But the value of that of 30K, not 30K, 30 ETH is kind of where I get lost in.
The dude's about to raise, if he's 1,000 pieces, he'll raise like 60 million in this market if it's 30 ETH.
Isn't that wild?
That makes no sense.
No, it really doesn't to me
So
either.
I kind of hope it, settles down to like a 10 ETH floor. Even still, that is just an absolute backed up the Brinks truck and just see ya. Highway robbery in my head, but maybe I'm doing things wrong.
Me too. And, my luck, I would buy it at 30 ETH and it would drop to 22 immediately. I'm like, all right, well, that's how it works. But if I don't buy it, it'll go to 60 immediately.
And the weird part about that is you're getting something that someone else created, right? So it's like, okay, say you bought it on the secondary, someone else made that, right? Or like, are the mint passes going to stay like, is it going to have this like kind of interesting dynamic where, mint passes are being burned for, people creating stuff. And then there's like a couple mint passes left that are like really valuable.
Right. I think that's probably what will end up here.
Interesting. Well, all right. That's happening.
Yeah. So the other one is Art Gobblers, which is the creator of Rick and Morty, and Paradigm guys are behind that as well.
Oh, wait. So the art is the creator of Rick and Morty.
The art is done by the creator of Rick and Morty.
Wow, that's cool.
The Justin Rowland, I think. And then Paradigm are like the big brains doing all the math, saying how does the auctioning mechanism work.
Interesting. That'll be sick.
That'll be a good one. It'll be fun to watch that one play out. They're doing something that's rare, where they're saying we're going to do everything and have it finished immediately. So once it starts and it sells, there's no more items coming up. There's no more things to generate momentum or create a narrative down the line. It's just
there's like no roadmap. It just is what it is. Put out in the wild. Here you go.
Right. But it's even less of the no roadmap than like the no roadmap projects were, because it's truly, here's what we've done. Like, goodbye. And we haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, in a sense, that sometimes those hit.
Right.
Do we know anything about like mint mechanics and price?
I don't know anything about the price. I do know the mechanic is a variable Dutch auction, to where if the demand is high, then the price will increase. But if the demand is low, the price will decrease. And they had mathed out, I think it was 2,000 of these things would be released in the first wave of minting. And then every day, I think it was like 7 or 70 are released through this auction mechanism. But if they fall off track, saying if we release 70 a day, that's 710 days. By day 10, if we've only sold, 600, then the price will decrease and will go lower and lower until they catch up to where they think they should be at. But if they're hitting their what's it called? Prediction, then the price will increase. It was something in that realm. So it's kind of something like that bonding curve we saw early in NFTs, but it kind of reimagined in a way that says the price doesn't just infinitely go up until no one cares anymore.
Right. Okay. I mean, that'll be a cool experiment. I'm excited to see that play out. It's cool.
Yeah, we're seeing more fun stuff come.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff coming in seems like. So NFT spot heating up a little bit.
Hopefully, with so little happening, we need some entertainment.
I mean, dude, I hate to say it, but we're still pumping. So let's go. People seriously, like, if you want us to record every day, like, we can figure something out.
If we might have Vitalik on the mic soon if Ethereum just goes up and we record.
Literally just a 24/7 live stream.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
A subathon or whatever those people do, and it's like, okay, every time someone subs, we'll be on the mic for another couple hours.
Oh my gosh, man, I don't even know. I would lose my mind.
Oh my, okay, yeah, we get about hour 30 in, and it's all of a sudden like, all right, hey, that was a good one.
Yeah, we're out of conversation pieces.
Exactly. I mean, okay, let's like be real. Like there's not a ton going on right now, right? And like, again, like we said earlier, people are leaving the chats, people are leaving the scene. It's a good time to like do your research and all this stuff, but it definitely creates less to like touch on. So these Twitter topics are super helpful. And then sometimes there is a busy week. So, and then we're going to start bringing some more guests on again.
I like Twitter topics. I think
they're great.
I do too. And I think what people don't know yet is that I love the ones that are not about crypto. I love the martini questions.
100%. Like, toss us more of those, always down to venture out of crypto and just have a little chat about whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm slowly building like an image board of what Ethersole likes over here.
Oh my God.
So I've got a dirty martini on here now. I need to know what's coming up next.
I mean, gotta listen to the next episode.
Trending down, baby.
Trending down. Another one in the books. If you made it this far, again, you're a legend. Yeah, we'll catch you on episode 14.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Peace.